Yeah? All right. Time. Washed or naturals? Now, this is the question that I always ask to the people that I'm serving coffee to. Now, depending on their personal preferences, I try to match their expectations, or not. I mean, there is a big gap in between washed and naturals because of all of the fermentations and the innovations that the producers are doing, which is pretty cool. But for the consumers, it's very hard to keep up, and also for us, it's very hard to match their expectations based on their personal preferences. For example, if I talk to a traditional farmer in Guatemala, definitely they will go for a washed over a natural because of the wash coffee, the acidity, the clean cup, and the brightness that this gives. But if I talk to a new generation of consumers, definitely they will go for more fruity coffees, creamy body, and high sweetness that normally naturals and anaerobics gives over the washed. Now today, I don't want to focus on any processing or any variety in specific. I want to focus on the flavors that I'm creating, making a memorable experience through a cup, no matter what. Okay? So judges, we're going to start with the flavors. Please write down the following. In hot, you will have jasmine, red grapes, and cherry. When it's warm, it becomes raspberry, black cherry, and jasmine. When it cools down, the raspberry and cherry is still there, and the red grape comes back. The aftertaste is a long and lingering finish during all the temperatures. When it's hot and warm, it's fruity like a cherry. And when it cools down, it's like a white wine. The acidity is medium during all the temperatures. When it's hot, it's malic. And when it cools down, it's tartaric. The sweetness is medium-high during all the temperatures. And it's fruity all the way. And the mouthfeel is medium-high during all the temperatures. And it's round, juicy, and crisp all the way. Now, these flavors are a result of an amazing brew because I'm using two different elements today. Now, both of these elements were roasted 6 days ago in a Link coffee roaster, which is an airflow roaster, which gave me a lot of clarity on the flavors. Now, these were 13.5 in development time. The recipe today that I'm using, it's 16 grams of coffee per 250 grams of water, making a 1 to 15.5 ratio. Now, the first element, I used 8 grams of coffee, and I grinded it in a niche, which is a conical grinder burr of 63 millimeters. I grinded it coarse because it gave me a lot of the aromatics and brightness in the cup. The second element, I used also 8 grams of coffee, and I grinded it in an easy presso, which is a conical grinder as well, but for 43 millimeter size. I grinded it finer, which gave me a lot of the fruity notes and juicy body that I was looking for. I put them together to make a lot of complex cup and to make a refreshing flavors and outstanding brew. Okay? Now, besides the two elements, I'm focusing on 3 different variables today. The first variable is the origami air drippers, which I made out of resin. Now, this gave me a lot of conductivity on the temperature, which allowed me to extract a lot of sweetness in the cup. The second variable is the Seaverist cone filter fast. Now, the Seaverist, it's organic. It's made out of 40 microns in the holes, which has a lot of allowing me to have a faster water flow, which gave me a lot of acidity in the cup. And the third variable, it's the water. The water that I'm using is 90 ppm with high content of magnesium, giving me a lot of cleanliness in the cup all the way, and also gave me a lot of the aromas from today. In total, I'm doing 3 pours. Now, the first pour, it was 45 seconds pre-infusion using 70 grams of water at 93 degrees Celsius. with a spiral shape, a little bit harsh, with a lot of saturation, which that gave me a lot of oils extraction and sweetness in the cup. The second pour, I used 100 grams of water at 93 degrees Celsius. With a spiral as well, a little bit slower, focusing on extracting the acidity and the sweetness in the cup. And the final pour. I'm using 80 grams of water at 90 degrees Celsius. Starting at the edges of the filter and finishing up in the center, just to have focusing on the mouthfeel in the extraction, complementing the other two pours, making a complex cup. Perfect. Now, the barista servers are going to help you to assess from them, and also are going to help me to enhance the aromas. Now, the aromas that you're going to be having today to evaluate are jasmine and cherry. And I'm going to swirl the server so that can integrate all the flavors and also the aromas. When I give them to you, please be careful because they are hot. There you go. So please enjoy the aromas. There you go. Enjoy. Enjoy. There you go. Now, the final variable, of course, are the cups that you're going to be tasting from. Now, today, I'm using the origami aroma cups, which for two different reasons. The first one is the thin edge that has the cup is going to give the sweetness and the acidity a very good taste in every sip. And the second one is the bottom of the cup. The aromas goes all the way together with the flavor, integrated them and having an amazing experience. And of course, I'm going to tell you what coffee you're going to be tasting today. You're not going to end up with a doubt. But it's important that you to know that putting together elements, it's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Now, the first element or part of the puzzle, it's a geisha heirloom that came from Guatemala. Now, this was planted in 1986 in the Catenango Valley in Finca El Líbano by Herbert Perez. This is a wash process coffee. And this was the brightness and the floral flavors and aromas that normally the traditional consumers are looking for. The second part of the element, it's a geisha as well. But this time it was planted in El Volcán in Panama by Janssen's farm. This was in 1940s. And this variety was processed 72-hour natural anaerobic fermentation, which gave me a lot of the fruitiness and the juicy notes that the new generations of consumers are looking for. Now, today was about delivering you an outstanding brew, making a memorable experience with focusing 100% on the flavors, no matter the process, the variety, your personal preferences, or your generation. So please, I want you to enjoy. But this beverage is very versatile, so anyone can enjoy it, and for sure, I know that you will. So thank you very much, and I hope you really enjoyed this time as I did. And this is my time.